The Seat Leon Cupra 300, so 300 horsepower update, all-wheel drive DSG, the ST version in a special snow ride. That's today on Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars with Thomas. So a very special feature episode here for you today. Of course, we take a detailed look on the exterior and the interior in this mystery blue car. It comes close to a so-called Thomas Blue, so really my favorite, I can tell you already so far. So everything about this car here in a general sum up. We also have had the racetrack dry experience so far. Check that review out later. But today it's about the snow riding. We'll really hammer the drifts here on the frozen lake in Finland. We will also talk to racing legend Juha Kankkunen, really looking forward to that, and also give you some technology insight on the Seat Leon with a very interesting Cutaway model. So much interesting stuff here to see in this very episode, and we will all do that in full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! So last time we had the orange performance pack, this one here the black performance pack. In general the Leon in the front always looks quite dynamic. This one here the Cupra then even more with a stronger lower bumper, black frame here and the Cupra logo. The LED lights come from a standard equipment with the Cupra, otherwise they are optional, and so really have this great daytime running light. By the way, in our shots they do not flicker in real life, it's just on camera. And overall, a very sporty design in the front, definitely very likable. By the way, normal Cupra starts about, well, if you not pick everything, just above 30,000. This one here, equipped with everything, DSG all-wheel drive as an estate, about 40,000. And the base Leon would be about 17,000 in Germany. Yeah, behind us is already going in a while, but I think we can do even better, can't we? Let's just finish up with the exterior, and I would say then we can also have some great driving shots. 4 meters 54 or 14 foot 9 is the total length of this vehicle. The estate version, the ST, a little bit longer than the hatch version. The 3-door or the 5-door, you can also check that one out in our other review. We have had some shots of those. New updated colors. This one here, mystery blue. Then there's also a Mediterranean blue that has been there before. Goes more in a little green blue direction, but also very beautiful. There's also Desire Red. You've seen it in static shots. And then also Eclipse Orange. There's also a new color. That one you can see in our Geneva Motor Show coverage. Here the black performance pack with black mirror caps, 19-inch rims. Then the Brembo brakes, they are a little bit bigger. You can also live with the normal brakes without the performance pack. And also my advice, if you go for the performance pack, pick them without the semi-slicks because they do not perform that well on rainy surface. It's more for the racetrack. For everyday using of the car, do not pick the semi-slicks. But you can also get the performance pack just with the visual part, with the 2-color rims and stuff. Then the contrasting roof rail, very well going to this color. The lower bumper you see here has a black contrast. I really like that. So gives another spectacular look. 19-inch, by the way, those rims. And then overall, not a so spectacular design for an estate, but it really, keeps a static form rather on the roof, not to lose too much space in the rear, but still has some dynamic edges, which we can also see here in the interior again, this form, and also the design and above the door handles, pretty crisp right here. So also in the side profile, a very interesting estate. black Cupra logo with single letters. I think that fits more than with the orange performance pack. The orange performance pack is, to me, a little bit too much, I would say. You can compare that in our other Leon Cupra review. 2 exhaust pipes, big diffuser, that's the Cupra style, and also the new 300 logo here, because the split between the horsepower before, that's gone. Only 300 horsepower for the Seat Leon Cupra now. Usually not with all-wheel drive for the 3-door and 5-door version. All-wheel drive is exclusive to this one here, and then we also got this 4-drive logo right there on the hatch. And I would say we switch to the engines. And here we go with the 2-liter TSI 300 horsepower turbo petrol engine. 4.9 seconds is the acceleration to 100 kilometers an hour, 62 miles an hour. And that's almost a second faster here with the all-wheel drive than without. So that is a big difference, but we heard it. There's also, in favor of the manual hand drive and the front-wheel drive for the race rig, because the car's lighter. So here, with automatic DSG, dual clutch transmission, and the all-wheel drive, the car's heavier. For a normal customer, it's better. You can have more performance on the road. Just for a race track driver, that might be different. If you want to have more details to that, check out the other review. Here we'll get this engine going here on the snow today. Get inside. Solid door closing sound, and on the inside of the doors we have the Alcantara, and here this carbon fiber textile, I would call it, or carbon fiber fabric. So really attractive also from the interior design. Also all the buttons and stuff, really solid build quality. I like that. Seat has stepped that up over the years. Entry Cupra cover right there. And then the seats, those ones are the optional performance seats. You get usual sports seats. They have a split head restraint. I do prefer them. They have a little bit more space, but already the performance seats, then they offer enough space to sit also as a tall person. And the great combination, sustainable and animal friendly microfiber inside, leatherette on the outside. That's how it's supposed to be. The steering wheel has a flattened bottom, also with the Cupra racing style logo, and you can already see the instruments. They have a very sporty layout as well. You see the white arrows, they are illuminated. They also remind me a little bit of the analog Audi gauges, but Audi is all the way about the digital gauges. Here in the Leon, they're supposed to come later, the digital gauges, maybe before they switch to the next generation at some point in a year or two. But at the moment, still analog. And if we take a seat right here, shoe tap, 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 especially to get that snow out. And headroom. Yes, really plenty. 1.86 or 6'1". We can also change the steering wheel to all directions. See, I can even do it with one hand, the good mechanism. And as I said, the normal sport seats to me a little bit more comfortable, but some also say that the performance seats are more comfortable, so it depends on. But you will see in the rear, you have a little bit more room in the rear with the normal sport seats. But you can go for either ones. Both have the microfiber inside, leatherette outside, perfect setup. So, for a sporty car, because it's just based on normal compact estate, really comfortable seating position. So you can really have this compromise here between the sports car and the family car. That, is what this car is about. And you can already see here the repeating design lines. Better take a perspective from the rear that you can really see the cockpit layout. cockpit overview is a very clean layout for sure. Everything is easy to see. Then you see here the side profile design line from the rear windows. It repeated on the interior. I always love those details when manufacturers do that, repeat exterior and interior. Also here on the dashboard, soft plastics are used, great build quality. Also with a design line like on the exterior, like the drop-in line above the door handles. The new infotainment system, usually you get 5.8 as a standard in Leon. If you have the FR, Excellence or Cupra trim levels, so the top trim levels, then you get this new 8-inch screen. The proximity sensor for saving costs and also space was left out. That's a pity. So you have to use all the screen you have to see always. So before that, it was like you approach the screen, then there are some buttons right here. Here, by the way, it's a funny feature. You can also switch the clock layout in the infotainment screen soon more to the infotainment, but 8-inch it is right now. Then the steering wheel again, white contrast stitches on the inside. I think it fits very well there too. Shifting pedals, and the climate unit is a place that you can very easily access it still while you're sitting right here, also while driving. So self-explanatory, and also the DSG here for drive combination with the all-wheel drive exclusively for the estate version. The glove box, it's a normal one, slides down smoothly, and you can here have a lot of room actually inside a glove box, and also some room below the temperature unit, also for inductive charging of your phone if it is suitable for that. Instruments, here we go. As I said earlier, very clear 2D layout, very well to see. And Cupra logo on the right side with the speed, and in the middle one you can have temperature. Also, it's not melting yet, the lake, but pretty warm here in Finland. For in relation, of course. Or you can have the digital speedometer in the middle, for example. Here we go with the infotainment again. I like this clock here, definitely from the style. And then there's directly access here to your smartphone mirroring. You can plug it in when you hit this button, or you hit the general menu button. The sound control is still a button. Everything else done via touch. You can have this app view, for example. Also connect the phone via Bluetooth. That's also possible. So I usually use the Bluetooth function. I think it's perfectly fine for me. And then the GPS, see here, can you scroll in it, good reaction times, and it also has been improved from the very early pre-production cars now. Seems a little bit faster here now, so you can zoom in and out like with a smartphone. And here in Pico Nissi, we are spinning this very car around. Nice emotional function. The Seat Ateca now also has the heartbeat starting. That's humanizing the car. Borrowed the idea from Jaguar once, but why not? It's really a nice feature. Cupra button, you get this exclusively. You can change the driving modes, comfort, sport, and Cupra. Then it stays yellow. That has to do with shifting characteristics, sportier shifting, and also with steering wheel, suspension, and stuff. And we will test the different driving modes, and then there's also a separate button to turn off the ESC. We will show you the different steps and explain while driving. Everyday usability service, for example here the armrest covered with leatherette, really fixedly attached, so some more space inside there, and in front of that 12-volt power supply and some more room. Here's the 12-volt power supply. Beverage holders, they could be a little bit bigger and adaptive. That's on my wish list. And what about the rear? So as I said earlier, you do lose a little bit of knee room with the performance seats. It's still okay, you can sit with 4 adults right here, and also headroom wise, especially if you do not have the panoramic roof, that one reduces the headroom a little bit. Still okay though, you can check it out in the other review. With the normal seats you have a little bit more knee room, so you have to bear that in mind when you are also driving with a tall driver. But overall also very well to use. Same scheme here, for example, with the microfiber on the inside, beverage holders here. You can also use the middle part from here as a ski hatch and load things through. You can also flip the seats right from here in a 2/3, 1/3 split, but also a better way right there from the trunk. And what about it here? Flipping the Seat logo, and then you can use all of the capacity here. Press, it's a very good solution in the rails left and right. And then you can flip the seats right from here. Both sides, very handy solution. So that's what you do expect of a practical estate Seat sound system. You can also put a replacement tire in there. So, you know, also fixations right there, and Isofix covers, by the way, on the seats, on the outer seats, and top tethers available, so everything you need for your family. Welcome to my very favorite discipline in all automotive driving, Ice Lake. Just love that. Also prefer to dry racetracks. We start in the normal driving mode, as all customers would drive, and there first we can feel the very progressive steering wheel. Even here on the ice, I can take it really for granted that I don't have to take my hands off the steering wheel. Here in a corner, accelerating out, and then I can hammer the throttle. And you see the car keeps it relatively straight. So that is good to know, especially with the all-wheel drive. So much power for this car. If it would be all on the front wheels, there could possibly be front wheel spin, or the electronic stability control just locks the front wheels. Here we can drive relatively fast out of this corner with the all-wheel drive. That's now new with the Cupra. And wow, what an acceleration, what grip. We do have spike tires, by the way, but I can also tell you I've driven on ice lakes with very good normal winter tires also. It basically also works. But here they decide to put on the spikes to have a little bit more safety for people that are not that well used to the driving, and you have more grip, of course. So the amazing thing is, you know, the Finland rallies, for example, on the WRC, they are among the fastest rallies there are. And that's really amazing. And sometimes the rally cars, they have a better acceleration actually on the ice than on asphalt. So here, again, with the ESC, you see also active there, sometimes blinking. Hardly anything is happening. Such a great safety feeling if you're not used to, you know, very spectacular car driving. Then, I mean, that was already the Cupra mode. We're in the sport mode. It doesn't really matter that much. It's more about the ESC. So comfort mode, for example, the gears are not turned up that high. It's more about, you know, keeping it calm from the RPMs and stuff. Cupra mode would be then the gears are turned up higher. You also hear it. Sport mode is automatically turned in. You can also switch it at the automatic DSG shifter, and also shifts earlier down, and you can have a little bit more fun. And it's really amazing how fast you can go with this car on the ice with the ESC on. If you're you know, not a really professional race driver, I think you would be even faster with the ESC on. Look at that. I mean, how fast, 60 kilometers an hour I'm driving here now, and the car feels perfectly safe. That's really amazing. However, let's put it to ESC Sport, and then there it is already. See it here? I can put it sideways then now, so the ESC Sport draws back the stability control. I can have more fun. It's not completely turned off then. So this is, you know, if you really want to have some fun, but still some security left, for example. See, there's some safety here. You can see it here, sideways, another way around, counter steer. I'm also steering a little bit with my foot, basically. So you see, I haven't steered that much. A little bit of counter steering, just a little bit, but then I control with my foot if I want to have the car more sideways or left sideways to keep it in the corner. Of course, I'm inducing it a little bit now here to have a little bit more fun for you and for us, of course. Here now the other way around. Just a little counter steer. And it's so much fun because on dry racetracks you like, bam, you're in the soft spot then again, and it's really, you know, in a soft asphalt grip spot, but then it's really hard that you lock in the car right ahead. And here you can do the drifts very smoothly, dance around and then ballet. That's so much fun. I love that, and I hope you enjoy that too. Next S corner, also the sound from the Cupra. Also driving quite fast here now already, and It's of course less safety, but of course more fun. But with ESC Sport, and I've also talked again to Jordi Gené, our famous Spanish racing driver we've had in a couple of interviews, and he also told me that ESC Sport is a good pick then also here for the ice lake, because the difference, and if I turn off the ESC completely, well, I mean, basically the most fun thing you can do if you know how to drive, now we go right there. But until 30 or 40 degrees turning of the car, it doesn't make such a difference. If you want to spin the car totally full the way around, then it does actually make a difference than to deactivate the ESC completely. That's a pretty interesting aspect. In everyday driving, it makes sense, for example, I just love that. It makes sense, for example, if you want to get out of the snow and the electronic stability program reduces your getting out of the snow, for example. This corner I really love. This car is so well to handle, and it's even so much better to handle than just a rear-wheel drive car. Wow. Because you got a little spin from the front tires as well. Got it forward driving right there, and that helps you to get out of the corner and also to hold drift, because rear-wheel drive only car goes easier around the corner basically at first, but then holding the drift and not over rotating is hard. And here this Haldex all-wheel drive system, it works flexible and adaptive, and that one here is, for example, also enabling us to hold the drift quite long right there, and then we're really flexible. See it here, can do right and left spin. Of course it's not faster, but it's more fun to drive. So I really prefer having those all-wheel drive models on the ice lakes. A little bit easier to drive, not so much over rotating, but still shows how agile this very car here is, that you can have safety if you want it, but fun too if you have the chance to. Wow, that is so great. And you can relatively easy catch the car. I mean, it's weight about 1.4 tons, a little bit heavier now with the Cupra engine. And the balance of weight, it's not exactly 50-50 then with true sports like the Porsche Cayman and stuff. But it's very well balanced, as you can feel it here right now, also with the progressive steering, so it's so well to control. There you can of course even more enjoy it. This corner is really good. Here you can turn the steering wheel all the way around. Sometimes you can even do it just with one hand, because the other thing is then done with the foot. And you see, I'm not giving it too much throttle, because if I would giving it too much throttle, I could also easily over rotate. For example here. See it here, then I'm really very much sideways, and then I'm already getting out of control just a little bit. I have to catch the car, and the thing is, you do not react with giving it even more throttle the other way around. You have to counter steer and also counter throttle. Let's take it that way, but not as hard as before, because you want to calm down the car again. It's an interesting technique, of course, and especially driving here on ice. A lot of technique, a lot of fine feeling is necessary. There are a lot of people who can just hammer the throttle and say, I'm the best car driver in the world. And then they come to this ice track here, and suddenly they are very, very tiny, and they are all going all over the banks and cannot do anything, because you have to get a feeling for the car. And I can just recommend you also, when some manufacturer offers such a safety training on snow and ice, do it. Maybe the best with your very car brand also, because it gives you really a feeling for the car, a feeling for safety, and that you can have a lot of fun, of course, but always helps you to know what does my car do in extreme driving situations, and that's a really good feeling you want to have. And here you can enjoy some more rounds on this very track. You can also increase the speed a little bit, but when I'm on these ice lakes, for me it's not about the maximum speed on the straightaways and so on, because when you have just too much speed like they're doing on the WRC, then it also can get dangerous if you're doing some mistakes, or maybe you cannot calculate something, or you have some part on the track which is maybe slicker than the others. And now let's look out of the side window and wow. You see, it goes very, very fast. That you can maybe exaggerate it a little bit too much. But the good thing here in the snow, you're not punished by some cobblestones, you know, on the side of the track or so. You just ride in the snow, so it's relatively safe. So I already really enjoyed this track here, and I would just say we can try just another one. So another track, and I'll leave everything deactivated because, you know, I'm used to the car now. I just advise you, when you're driving on the streets, do not deactivate the ESC. Just do that on closed circuits. ESC Sport would be the maximum on dry roads, you know, on public roads. Always keep it safe. Let's see how much drifts we can do right here. So I feel here the surface is a little bit more driven out, a little bit harder the surface, a little bit more holes in the ice. The ice is, by the way, about 70 centimeters thick, so that easily holds a car. You know, it's always a rest danger, basically, of course, but those ones are also very well prepared, the tracks for us here, of course. So going here in the next left corner, now it's happening it smoothly into the drift. Brake and then go into the corner and hold it. See it here, that was quite long also, just not the maximum drift, but here now then the counter movement. And when I see I want to get around here, that is, yeah, that's the way. Yeah, here we go. And the thing is, you know, it's on the one hand you got really extreme great drifts, but on the other hand the G-forces really are evened out by the slickery surface, and that's also more relaxing, for example, for the co-driver. That's really interesting. So co-driver on a snow racetrack is always better. That's the stuff. Now the next S combination. Here again, that is really so great. So I also want to hear your feedback. What do you think about ice-like driving? Do you really like that? Here our next drift. I really like this. Maybe I like this track here even better. More tight corners, more S combinations. You can better hold the drift. Here we go. And this all-wheel drive system is really good. I mean, it's from the basic setup, of course, a front plus rear system, but as it's always distributing the torque, you can really have different situations. That's so great if you have just the nose to the corner, really spinning it around, nose to the corner in the front, and the rear then in the opposite direction. That's great. Or if you look where it's going further here, look at how long we can hold the drift here, but still keeping the car. Here, for example, if I would now have turned the car too fast around, I would have oversteered. Wow. So this car is so well to control, and also helps me the car sitting a little bit lower. For example, as we have driven the Volkswagen Tiguan, which have a lot of similarities with the MQB car here, same building platform. They do have some similarities while driving, of course, but this one here, as the car sits lower, has a little stiffer suspension, has the sporty setup, it's even better to drive than, of course, in these situations. come to a stop because there's someone else on the track, and safety first, of course. We just roll past them. And you can see, and that's, you know, we always have to pay attention. Other guys here filming, and then of course it's better to come to a full stop first and see what the situation is. Everything seems to be fine. They're doing some shots right there. Then we can go again. What do you think about the sound here? Just a dream to do it like this. I think again we can conclude one of the most fun stuff you can do in the car, and I would do this all day basically, and also prefer it again to the dry racetrack driving, because, you know, speed, everyone can hammer the throttle just, but having the feeling for the car, control, being one with your car and the surface, that's really what's happening right here. And also, you know, in personal driving, you can learn so much from driving in those conditions. So what I hope is that you will learn something about, you know, driving a car safely, but at the same time how to drive a car in a fun way. Of course, sadly, in private life, hardly any possibilities anymore to do stuff like this here. For example, if you know, a lot of parking lots, they are shut off nowadays. Sorry. I had to do it one more time. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed that. Give us your feedback. And now we are joined by Andrew Shepard from the Seat engineering department, and we have a special Cutaway model. Very impressive to see how it looks like underneath, and Andrew can fill us in with the details. So what's really special to see here at our Cutaway model?
Yeah, well, basically what we've got here is a Cutaway model of the Cupra 300 ST with all-wheel drive, with the 4-drive as we call it. So basically this Cutaway model, if we look at the front here, we've got here the Cupra engine. And then on the front axle here, we can see the Cutaway of the, this is actually the performance pack with the Brembo brakes and the 19-inch alloy wheels here. And if you have a look there, you can see we have adaptive chassis control. These are the electronically actuated dampers that change according to the drive mode that the driver selects. So if the driver selects, for example, Cupra drive mode, well then that would adjust accordingly the characteristics, the dynamic characteristics of the shock absorbers there. Okay, so if we come back.
Pretty slippery here, but no problem for the all-wheel drive.
Slippery, yeah. Certainly got nice Lapland weather here, haven't we? So you can see here the drive shaft that comes back here towards the Haldex unit that we have here. It's very nice to be able to see it cut away here, because you can see just one of the great advantages of the MQB modular platform. It enables us to adapt the floor pan to each mechanical unit that we're using in each car. So you can see here this unit here is specifically designed to have a package that allows us to mount this Haldex unit below.
And the clutch is right there?
That's right. So the clutch is just here. In the normal way, this system gives priority to the front-wheel drive, and only when you need the rear-wheel drive for added traction, then it would come into play. So this added traction then would, basically what you've got here is a multi-clutch system, electronically controlled but hydraulically operated. So when it's needed, the pressure builds up, the hydraulic pressure builds up within the unit, the plates then start to close, and that transmits power to the rear wheels.
So here, when we really spin it around on the snow, to which maximum percentage can that really go to the rear wheels?
Well, maximum percentage is 50-50. So 50% on the front wheels, 50% on the rear wheels.
What would you say is the main advantage to have such a system against, you know, a classic, you know, some call it symmetrical all-wheel drive, or, you know, a permanent all-wheel drive where you have rather 60-40 percentage or so? What is the advantage of this one?
I think the great thing about this four-drive system is that in normal conditions, when you don't need four-wheel drive, you're not consuming more fuel, And then when you do really need, the conditions dictate that you do need that added traction, then it automatically comes into play, and really the driver has to do nothing. You know, the combination of this state-of-the-art hardware combined with the state-of-the-art software that this Cupra affords basically means that the driver really doesn't have to do very much. It's all done for him.
So once I've been told that the drive shaft is running anyway, and I mean, doesn't it also just consume fuel, or where is the fuel saving part then?
Well, basically, because if you had permanent four-wheel drive, then you would be consuming more fuel because you're obviously driving both axles. Now, with this, although the drive shaft itself is always turning, you're not consuming additional fuel by always running with the rear axles as well.
Less friction than in the rear.
Friction, that's right. That's right. So basically, that is the advantage with this system, that you have the added traction when you really need it.
Very interesting to see the Cutaway model and also the great explanation here. And I think we even more understand now how we could actually drive this Leon on the snow today here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And now we're talking to someone who really knows the deal. Juha Kankkonen has become World Rally Champion in 1986. The year I was born, for the very first time. He repeated it then several times and was also the only one to win on 3 different teams the world title. And of course we want to know, how do you rate the Seat Leon Cupra? How do you think, how capable is the car also if compared to other cars in this segment?
No, let's say it's group of the Volkswagen Group part of it, and it's very, very similar to the Golf example and Audi A3. They are sister cars together. No, good car, very well balanced car, nice to drive, enough powerful engine, good brakes, everything. Very easy and nice car to drive.
How would you compare it to earlier cars? How capable are the cars today now? Some cars you can really drive on the road. Are they maybe as fast as racing cars were in the past, or how could you rate it?
Yeah, that's true. They are fast as racing cars on 80s. Okay, 80s we had Group B cars which one were faster, but still, I mean, the technology is going so quickly forwards. Technically, by suspension, brakes, let's say transmission side, which one is automatically putting the power to the wheels, good, nice brakes, steering, everything. I mean, everything gets forwards, and they are really strong and good and safe cars to drive.
What is the most important thing maybe for a normal driver, for a customer? What have you pay attention to when driving in snow and ice?
Especially, you have to concentrate all the time, quite sharply what you are doing, and braking, cornering, the speed. You know, when you see tight corner, that how much you have to brake, and if the car, when it starts understeering, oversteering, sliding, to control it, and that you can only learn by driving. There is no book that you can read it from the book, but it doesn't help your driving skills. So only way is to drive a lot.
And talking about the WRC, how do you see the development there? How is the sport going? How do you rate that?
This year is good. The cars are a little bit more powerful, very nice looking because of the wings and aerodynamics. The speed is right there. Suspension is fantastic. I've been driven the cars, just trying to test them, and they are good cars. And now there is a tight competition because there is four main teams are on the same level, basically, that every one of those can win the rallies, which one is makes it much more interesting, and people could follow it better than if you have just one team dominating all the time.
So any plans for you to be involved there? For example, like Tommy Mackin, something like that maybe?
Probably a little bit, because I won one championship with Toyota and long time ago, and Tommy is a good friend of mine, so it could be.
So looking forward to that. And now, of course, we want to see how Juha is spinning that car here around on the track. Maybe I look a little bit awkward then if you compare the shots than when I was driving, but let's see how the pro does it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, guys, we are at the end of our today's episode. Too bad you have to watch it all over again. Or also join us for the other Seat Leon Cupra 300 review. If you have not watched it so far, we will of course link that episode. Here today's conclusion, such a great dynamic exterior, I think a dream family estate. One the Cutaway can really combine sportiness and also versatile functions, especially here in my new favorite color, mystery blue. Would I pick Mediterranean blue or mystery blue? I think I have to check that one out again. But this one here for sure great, and also as a Cupra variant. Interior also with a good build quality and also a clean design, repeating exterior functions or design functions. Also the seats with a sustainable setup. Steering wheel, we could still work on that for sure, but the seats really good from the comfort, both in the standard sports and the performance version with a good sporty grip. And of course driving, sound is nice, even though not too exaggerated. I think that's a good decision. And we had such a great agile driving fun. We had the explanation of the Haldex system again with the Cutaway model. Very interesting, especially to me. I hope you also liked that. And that's what we're always trying to do on Autogefühl. Combine important information and entertainment. So we have a good mix of both. And I hope you liked exactly this mix here today. And also join us for the very next episode. And leave your feedback about this car in our comment section below. Stick with us, stick with Autogefühl. Thank you so much.